I will literally get in my car and go home. I will get in my car and skirt home fast. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariana. If you are new here, welcome. I do all things Dallas content, 30 plus, living in Dallas, living life over, all things you can think of. Starting your life over as a 30 plus year old with no friends, no family, just starting from the bottom and growing and working your way up to the top. So if you have not seen any of my old videos, go and watch those. And then come back to this one. This one is going to be like a life reflection over the past 3 years that I've been in Dallas. April 4th was my 3-year anniversary in Dallas. So yeah, I've been chilling, coasting, relaxing, hanging out, making friends, creating memories, just a lot. So today's a reflection. I'm just gonna go over a little FaceTime girl chat with you guys about my 3 years in Dallas and a little life update and anything else. If you guys have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments down below. I do respond to almost every single question, every single comment, every single concern. So I love talking to you guys in the comments. So yeah, sometimes it does take me a couple days to respond back, but I do respond to everything that I do get. While we go over a little life reflection, girl time, girl chat, fireside chat, FaceTime situation, I will be juicing a watermelon. I bought this a couple days ago and it needs to be juiced and used now. One thing that I do like is doing like a watermelon fast. So I think today is Tuesday, July 7th. Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a watermelon fast today. So I kind of wanted to get this done. Now it is 11:49. I've been up since like 8 something. But yeah, we'll go over a little girl chat, talk while I juice a watermelon. Hopefully it's not too much noise. In between juicing, I'll probably answer the questions so the juicer is not super noisy. If that makes sense. Awesome. So the first question that I'm going to go over is what surprised me the most by moving to Dallas? I have none of these questions prepared or memorized, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head. What surprised me the most by moving to Dallas probably is the cost of living. I've mentioned this before. By moving from California to Dallas, cost of living, I wasn't able to live on my own. I wasn't able to do a whole lot of things on my own in California. It requires a lot more grit in California. Not saying I didn't have it. It's just you kind of need a leg up sometimes to make it in California. You kind of have to be in tech. You have to be someplace in those types of categories in order for California to work for a lot of people, like high paying income jobs. I do run a financial company. I do work as a server. I do multiple things, wear multiple hats. Just wasn't working for me. So I was in a spot where, and I probably went over my story 1,000 times. I'm not sure how in depth, I can't remember how in depth I went over the story, but yeah, I wanted a change. I needed a change. I was living in a place where I just couldn't, I wasn't growing, I wasn't maturing, I wasn't developing as a grown woman, so I needed to make a change. So I had an opportunity to live with a business partner of mine. And him and his wife took me in, and that's kind of how we're here. If you want to hear my story, I'm pretty sure I said it in another video. The one thing that surprised me the most is cost of living here in Texas. Like, it's totally different. I feel like I can afford a whole lot more. I feel like I can do a whole lot more. Sorry, my phone is going off. I feel like I can afford a whole lot more. I feel like I can do a whole lot more. Also, making the decision to go back into the service industry. Like, I moved out here to grow my business, but I didn't know anybody. My business is basically word of mouth. So making that decision to like go into the service industry, where here in Dallas, yes, the minimum wage sucks, but servers are making like $100K a year out the door, you know? So I feel like it's a really great place to get acquainted, and like I said, it's a really great place to make friends, a really great place to learn the Dallas culture. So I went into the service industry doing all of that. But I guess the one thing that surprised me the most is the cost of living out here, and how I was able to do so much more, live on my own, provide for myself without the help of anybody else, and move away from my family to do it, to just grind and do it by myself. So yeah, I would say that's the one thing that surprised me the most. Another thing that surprised me is probably weather. Like, I'm not used to the weather out here, so it's so surprising to me how hot it gets, and the heat is just totally different. The humidity is totally different, and of course, if you're coming from someplace else, you probably have very similar Texas weather, Texas humidity, Texas dry heat, Texas thunderstorms. You probably have that other places, but I'm coming from California, where it's butterflies and sunshine and rainbows all day long, and we don't have any crazy thunderstorms, which still scare the daylights out of me. The thunderstorms out here are insane. But we didn't have any crazy thunderstorms. We didn't have any crazy lightning. We didn't have any crazy storms, period, out there. So one thing we had to worry about was earthquake. And in my whole entire life, I've only been in a tremor, not even in a real earthquake. So we never really had to worry about earthquakes either. So yeah, I would say weather, cost of living, and the people are just different. Like, it just depends getting around the right people. I've had some very shisty characters that I've experienced. I think I told you guys I had a girl steal $700 from me. She was my friend. I was gonna go on her birthday trip. I had to cancel way before we had to go. And I was like, I'm just not gonna be able to do it. I already sent her the money. She had plenty of time to get it back to me. I didn't rush her or anything like that. And out of nowhere, mind you, again, the girl I worked with and we were cool, out of nowhere, she decided to put her 2-week notice in and never give me my money back. Now, I thought about some things I could do to her. I thought about a billion things, but God is a sovereign God. God reigns, you know, and my battles are his battles, and it's not me who seeks vengeance, it's the Lord that seeks vengeance. And I paid tithes on that money, so I know she's somewhere out there hurting. And that's all I care about, is what God is gonna do to her, not me. But anyways, so yeah, like I've been wronged. I've met some crazy people. I've met some really cool people. Some, you know, and I think another thing that surprised me about Texas, or Dallas specifically, or my time here, is that I haven't made friends as much as I crave, you know. And I think it's just a 30+ thing, because I know in the group that I run, a lot of people are like looking for friendships and genuine friendships. And I don't know why it's so hard to make genuine friends. Like, girl, let's go out to eat. What's up with the drama? No, I don't want your man. Like, it's just, why do we have to make drama out of anything? And then why can't we as a people apologize if we wrong somebody? If you say, hey, I didn't like how you said that to me, you know, I completely apologize. It's my tone. I wasn't aware of my tone. Why can't we apologize and then continue our friendship? I don't get it. So anyways, yeah, I would say those 3 things are things that surprised me the most about living in Texas, or Dallas specifically. I'm gonna start this and I'll come back with the next question. It actually doesn't sound that loud. I don't know if it's gonna sound that loud on camera, but I thought it would just be like super loud. But I use the Nama J2 juicer, and I'm so mad because when I bought the Nama J2 juicer, they came out with the Nama J2, something with the smoothie maker and all this other extra stuff. And I'm like, bro, I can't have another appliance. I cannot. I don't have enough space. It's not gonna work for me. So we're rocking with the Nama J2 juicer. All right, perfect. Cool. Next question, what's been harder than expected? I guess it would be making friends, honestly. There's times like, I live alone, honestly, we know this already. Moved out here by myself. Like, I have a friend from childhood. I wouldn't really say childhood. She was my brother's friend in high school, and I became friends with her, and then me and her are friends. More than her and my brother are friends now. But I would say making friendships. Like, me, you know, she's the type of friend, and I'm also that type of friend. Like, you don't have to hit me up every single day. So we hung out the other day. We went to the Wingstop Bomb Factory thing. If you guys saw it on TikTok, Wingstop did a whole pop-up at the Bomb Factory in Deep Ellum, which I think was an amazing event. Yes, it was a little on the ghetto ratchet side, but you had free wings, free haircuts, free hairstyles. You had to sign up for the haircuts and the hairstyles like early in the morning in order to be taken, because I heard the list signs up fast. They had free entertainment. They had Big X the Plug performed at one of the days. They had True Colors performing at one of the days. So yeah, I felt like it was a great thing that Wingstop did for the community, because I saw lots of families going there, and you don't even know, like, that could have been their only meal for the day. And they had free 5-piece wings. You could do boneless, or you could do boneless or bone-in, and it came with fries, ranch, and utensils. And you had to pay for your own drink, but whatever, you could eat that anywhere. But yeah, I was like, this is freaking amazing for the community. There's people who are struggling, don't know how they're gonna feed their kids, and Wingstop said, hey, from this time to this time, which I think was a good 2 weeks. I wanna say it started on June 24th and went all the way to July 3rd. I don't know if that's 2 weeks, I can't do math. But for these 2 weeks, we're gonna say 2 weeks. For these 2 weeks, every person who walks through the door gets a free wings ticket. And it did not matter. I went 3 times. I went on a Sunday, I went on a Wednesday, and then I went again before I went on a Sunday, a Wednesday, and July 2nd. So I think I went on a Thursday too, or something like that. I can't remember. But I went 3 times, and the wings were hot. The wings were fresh. I did boneless 2 times. I did bone-in the 3rd time, because everybody was roasting me on Instagram talking about, that's not wings. Whatever. When you're hungry, I like boneless. But when I'm hungry, I like boneless, because then I could get all the meat. When I'm not so hungry, I'll do bone-in. So, you know, I just don't like fighting with the bone. Oh, by the way, another life update. I started eating meat like April. I want to say the beginning of April, I started eating meat. I just felt like my body was craving it. If you guys don't know, I have been raw vegan. I was raw vegan in 2017 for 21 days, reset my body. Then I went vegan for 2 years. And then 2019, I started eating fish. I've been pescatarian. I'm sorry, my phone is blowing up. It's not really my phone, it's my laptop, and I don't know how to turn that off. Let me see. So, raw vegan for 21 days, reset my body. I had really bad acne. I had to do something, I had to make a change. They tried to put me on medication, blah, 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 blah. Decided to look on YouTube, change my diet. Raw vegan for 21 days. I did vegan for 2 years of that, including the 21 days. I was vegan for 2 years, and then in 2019, I decided to eat meat. So I did seafood only. So I've been pescatarian from 2017 to April of this year. So I would say that's about 9 years, roughly 9 years. So I started eating meat because, I don't know, for some reason, out of nowhere, it just started to look good to me. And I've been craving the In-N-Out burgers, and I saw on my feed on TikTok and Instagram all these In-N-Out burger orders. And you guys know I'm from California, and In-N-Out burger is a childhood staple. And for some reason, I was really craving like an In-N-Out burger. I wanted to try it with like the Flying Dutchman. I wanted to try it with the onions. I wanted to try everything. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why do I want meat right now? And I started just looking at stuff, and I was like craving certain things. And I think what really is the problem, or really was the problem, is I don't cook at home anymore. I literally eat at work, or I eat out 99.9999% of the time. And I think my body is just craving vitamins and minerals that I'm not getting from eating out all the time. And the reason why is because I'm never home. I'm always at work. When I'm at work, I grab something to eat. And then when you're at home and you're off, like you're off on a Thursday, but not 2 consecutive days back to back. So you're not off on Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday. You're just off on Thursday. I'm not going grocery shopping because I'm not going to be back home to eat my vegetables, and everything's going to spoil. It's happened to me multiple times before. I used to even do like the food subscriptions where the food comes in the box and stuff at your front door. I just can't do it anymore because the food stays in the fridge and I don't ever cook it. So anyways, I'm still on question number 2, yapper. I started eating meat. I don't even know how I got on there, but yeah, anyways, started eating meat, and yeah, I don't know how that's been harder than expected, but I'm trying to wrap this up, trying to wrap this question up. But yeah, making friends, harder than expected, I would say. I didn't think, like I even think, and as a 30+ woman who is, you know, not married, and I think about marriage, I also think about who am I gonna have as a bridesmaid? Like, I would have my friend that lives here that I've known since I was in California. I would have another friend, but I'm like, I wouldn't have none of these people as my bridesmaids or even come to my wedding. So I'm starting to think like, dang, like, is it me? Am I the problem? But I can't be the problem because everybody in group chats and everything like that is always talking about how hard it is to make friends, you know? I just don't know if it's the generation we live in, the culture that we are a part of. But yeah, it is pretty hard to like make genuine connections with people. And then even people that I've made genuine connections with, I don't feel like they feel like it's a genuine connection with me. So then it's like, okay, I think you're cool, but then maybe you think I'm too stuck up or not fun enough or whatever. So then it's like, you don't ever hit me up and I hit you up, or then vice versa. I have people who I'm like, ooh, I don't want to really hang out with you like that. That's cool. So they're constantly hitting me up and I'm like, I'm not really into you, if that makes sense. And I'm just really talking about friendships, not like romantic situations. I put all my juices in a mason jar. Watermelon juice right here. See if I can do this on camera without spilling it. Nope, spilt it. Woo, perfect. But yeah, I guess that would be the one thing that's harder than expected. Another thing that I'm like trying my hardest to do is elevate my life a little bit more. And by elevate my life, I just mean like I want to build a few businesses here in Dallas. I want to live a very, very financially comfortable life. I don't want to be in the service industry anymore. I told myself the job that I have now is the last service industry job that I will ever work in Dallas again. But guess what I went and did? Went to another service industry interview and I got hired for that one. Why? Because I have the credentials and I'm the best. Got hired for that one and I start in a couple weeks. Now I'm gonna quit this next one. I'm gonna do this one and then this one will be the last one that I work in Dallas. I'm gonna take the money that I make from this one. I'm going to build a business. I have a couple business ideas. Mobile bartending is one of them. And I'm telling you guys this because this is my visual diary. So you guys can do it too. I'm gonna do it in the state that you live in, but I wanna do mobile bartending and events. So I've also seen the girls who do the balloon, decorating in the house. These are low cost businesses to start. Mobile bartending probably takes $1,000 to start, but not $1,000 up front. And same with the balloons. The balloons are cheap. Like what? Balloons and tape? I'm doing that. I'm doing it. I'm sorry. So I need to make more money. The job that I have now is not making me enough money, and that's another thing that you guys need to learn, is that when you get out here, be okay with change. Be okay with leaving what is comfortable for you to something else that may not be comfortable for you. And that is what I need to learn more, because I should have left the job that I'm at now a lot sooner for another opportunity. But I didn't. I feel like loyalty is big and they keep promising you things. No, leave that job. That job is not taking care of nobody but itself. If you're not making enough money, I have not been making enough money for the past couple of months, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I have a lifestyle that I need to live. And if it starts to affect my lifestyle, that's one thing. But when you start to affect my bills, I'm out of there. So now I'm like, I gotta leave this job. I'm going to another job. So I'm going back into fine dining. Even though fine dining in the past has been toxic, I feel like this company has been pretty amazing. I sat down and I interviewed with them. So yeah, I'm going back into fine dining. I have 2 months left on this lease that I have here. I will do an apartment tour for you guys before I leave this place, so you can see how I didn't decorate. Nothing's on the wall besides the TVs. So yeah, I guess, but I'm gonna go back to Dallas. Like, I tried the suburban life, but I'm going back to Dallas. I cannot. Me and Garland, I mean, especially if I'm gonna be working in Dallas, I'm not commuting anymore. It takes me 30 minutes with no traffic, an hour with traffic. I cannot do it anymore. So your girl is done with commuting. Your girl is done with the suburban life. As much as my apartment is probably better than any apartment that you've ever seen in your whole entire life, I just cannot do the commute when my whole entire life is in Dallas. Workout classes in Dallas. Every single time I have a workout class, it's in Dallas. They don't have enough workout classes out here. I have one Pilates studio that I kind of sort of like. I like the instructor, but it's kind of mid. It's not huge. I love Barry's. I love Solid Core. I want to move back to Dallas so I can be motivated, get a six pack, and watch me say all this and my six pack still never shows up. I don't know. But anyways, that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me see what the next question is. It says, what's become easier? I don't know, child. I would say everyday routine has just become easier. Living life, just waking up, just doing what you got to do. Learning the map, I would say map, but learning the landscape of Dallas, where you're at, not needing GPS to get places and do things. I would say that's become easier. Outside of that, I'm not too sure what has become easier per se. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I feel like I spent 3 years, so I'm just already, nothing's really easier. But understanding Texas culture would be easier, I guess. Understanding, like I said, getting places without maps, that is become easier. Driving in Dallas has become a little bit easier, just knowing that everybody is a chaotic, extremely dangerous driver. Just knowing that makes your life on the road a lot easier. Praise the Lord God Almighty, I've never been in a car accident. Well, kind of, but not really. Nothing crazy. Actually, when I first bought my car, drove it on the road maybe for the second time ever. I was going to the grocery store and a guy kind of sideswiped me. But my car it was very, very light, but my car was extremely dirty at the time. So when he hit me, it only left a little bit of scuffing, nothing. Now, when I tell you, I don't even see it. You have to look really, really hard to see it. And I try to go through the insurance, but I just figure, you know, I can't really even tell that it's there, whatever. I just kind of let it go. So that was the only car accident I've ever been in. But I will say, be careful with your cars out here, because sometimes the parking spots are very small. People do not care. They will ding your car up. I have dings in my car from doors opening. I'm assuming that's what it is, doors opening. And when I bought my car, I knew it was just like a commuter car. It was something that I needed. It's a little Honda 2021 Civic Sport, you know. I'm a Honda girly. But anyways, there's lots of nicks and dings on it, and that's just the natural wear and tear of just parking and people banging up your car. Whatever. Now, if it was my Porsche, that'd be a different story. I'd be a little upset about that, but you know, it's just my Honda. So yeah, I would say that was, I guess that's gonna answer that question. What am I still figuring out? Ooh, okay, I like this question. I'm still figuring out how to maximize my time here. And when I say time here, I mean, I feel like God put me in Dallas for a reason. So what does God want from me? How can I maximize everything He has called me to be? I would say that's what I'm still trying to figure out. And I mean, I would say that in regards of that's probably what everybody is trying to figure out. Like, we're always trying to figure that out. Unless you have the super like amazing opportunity to hear from God directly, we're all still trying to figure out exactly what God wants for us and our plan for us. And we always know when we're like close to that, but you know, I feel like my job here is to build businesses, capitalize on property and land out here because it's cheaper. But I'm just moving so slow because of the fact that I'm getting in my own way. And I'm letting these jobs dictate like what I can or can't afford, things like that. I had my fun the first year. The second year I was like, you know what, I'm locking in. And then I had to switch jobs. Then I got to this job. I was like, okay, I'm locking in. And then now this job's not paying me enough. So now I'm going to the next job, which I know will pay me pretty good. Now it's like literally locking in again. You have to have a job in order to like build a business. You got to have money, you know. And since I'm out here by myself, doing it by myself, grinding by myself, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. So that's my thought process. You guys might have a different thought process, but that's kind of where I'm at. I've always been a grinder, a hustler. And my thing is move for the next job, get the money that you need to get, quit that job. So I'm doing mobile bartending first. I'm still coming up with business names and stuff because I want to make it into like an events planning situation, not just bartending. Bartending would just be one aspect of the business. I'm going to do dry bartending, which means I'm not providing the liquor for anything. The customer will provide the liquor. I will just provide the garnishes, the fruits, and things like that. That will make my job a lot cheaper, and I won't need a liquor's license or anything like that. I already have TABC and food handlers from my business, from my jobs, so we're good. I just need to build the garnishes and juices and cocktails. So that's my next move, probably on my next update. Pray, holy God, please. On my next update, let me have this business up and running. But anyways, so yeah, that is what I'm still figuring out. Would I make the same decision again? And I'm assuming it means like moving to Dallas 1,000 times. 1,000 times over. I will make the same decision over and over again. I've experienced so much by living in Dallas. I have grown so much by living in Dallas. I have matured so much by living in Dallas. One thing I don't like is that because of the jobs and money being not so fluid all the time, especially in slow season. So right now I'm in slow season, which is summertime. Summertime is very slow season for restaurant industry all over, most likely, but definitely Texas. So I'm not able to go home and see my family as much, which is what I would really like to do. I would like to go home like once a month, once every other month, see my niece, my nephew, my mom, my brother, so on and so forth. But thank God for FaceTime. So I get to talk to them a lot. But yeah, I would say, yeah, I'd definitely make the same decision again. I feel like this was definitely needed for where I was in my life, and I would recommend it. That's why I started doing the YouTube channel, because I would recommend it to anybody to do the same thing that I've done. You just have to have the right mentality. You have to have the grinder's mentality. You have to have an entrepreneur's mentality. You have to have that, what's his name? David Goggins mentality. Like, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do 6,000 push-ups and blah, 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 blah. Not to that extreme measures, but even Eric Thomas, the speaker, you have to have those types of mentalities to be able to grind. You know, a lot of people start off with homelessness. I've been homeless at one point in my life as well too, and I tell myself I'm never going to go back there. So then what do you do when you start to see yourself slipping? You switch jobs, you make a change, you say nah, we're not doing that, I'm not going back. I got to do what I need to do for me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I will say, through all of this, I still get lonely. There's times where I'm like, man, I really wish I had somebody, like a friend, to go out with, to go get a small little drinky drink, girly drink, try this new restaurant. But I'm also not afraid to do it by myself. I will definitely 1000% do by myself. I post all of my food on Instagram. I probably should be a food influencer, honestly, but I post all my food on Instagram. I don't really use TikTok that much. I'm pretty sure you guys who follow me know that I really don't post on TikTok. I'll repost on TikTok, but I don't post on TikTok. I probably should, but I don't know. This just is a lot easier. But yeah, you do get lonely sometimes. Sometimes you want somebody to go eat with, something to do, you know, blah, blah, woo, woo. But it gets better. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're a hot girl that's in her 30s trying to start over, and you know, you can get a little guy to come and I'm gonna take this part out. But yeah, you do get lonely sometimes, and it's just part of the game. Like, you just kind of, you don't think millionaires got lonely at one point? They all did. But we have bigger fish to fry, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, just so you guys know, if you have problems, a new city doesn't magically like change your problems. You still are gonna have those problems. It's just, I feel like a new city helps you get away from the distraction that's stopping you from solving your problems. I would also say having a routine is a lot more important than motivation. Sometimes you are not motivated. Sometimes I don't get out of the bed at all. Sometimes I stay in there, I bed rot till I have to leave again. Sometimes my house gets into a complete and total disaster to where I don't even know where anything is. All the clothes are on the couch. The kitchen island is a hot mess. And when I tell you something about me, if there's an apartment that I have with a kitchen island, it will always be a mess, and I have no idea why. But that's just me. I will throw my purses on here. Everything goes on the kitchen island. That's just kind of how it is. Something I need to work on, I guess. But yeah, you guys definitely need the routine before you need the motivation. The motivation is there, but you need a routine to keep you when you don't have any motivation. Healing. I know I've done an amazing amount of healing, just being around different people, hearing different people's viewpoints and perspectives, and reading your Bible, going to church. I started going to, and I mentioned it in the last video, I think, North Place, Saxy. Started going there a little more frequently. Not as much as I would like to, but a lot more frequently than I have been in the past. Really great church, straight to the point, very simple. I do, like, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I do have my master's in Christian counseling. I have done a lot of Hebrew studying and Greek studying and different things of that sort. And I do prefer a deeper church message, if that makes sense, not such surface level, like going deep into Greek words and root words, and this is what the original text says, and then cross-referencing it, and then building your message off of that. But I'm not a pastor, so I'm not trying to be like, you know, you should have. I'm not that at all, but I prefer that type of preaching style, like a more in-depth, college level based, even master's and doctorate level based message delivery, I guess. I love taking notes. I always bring a notepad to church. I bring my Bible to church. I cross-reference, making sure the scripture that's on the screen, because nobody really opens their Bible anymore. So the scripture that's on the screen is the same scripture that's in my Bible. But yeah, I digress. Things like work, I am leaving my job, going to a new job. So once I fully leave this job, I will let you guys know where I work. Like I told you, I started off at STK. I went to this new job, and I'm going to a newer job. So I will let you guys know what job this one is over here, so you guys can check it out. Great food, great place, wonderful atmosphere. It's just, you know, my time to spread my wings and fly. Nothing bad about the job. My time to spread my wings and fly. My routine basically is wake up. I'm not gonna hold you. My routine is all over the place. It depends on if I have to work, depends on if I don't have to work. It depends on if I booked a Pilates class, if I have plans with friends. My routine switches up often. So I don't really have a daily routine, but definitely for sure, get up, brush teeth, wash your face. I'll basically go over certain things that I have to do for the day. Like currently I need to get my nails taken off. And then I need to do some cleaning. So sometimes I'll start with cleaning and getting my space together before I go to work. Because that's more important to me than going to work out, is making sure that my space, my mental space is clear before I go to work. So when I come home, I can just decompress and relax. So yeah, that's kind of like my routine. It's all over the place, especially being in the service industry. There's some nights you get out really late, some nights you get off pretty early, and then you might want to do some stuff with friends. So your routine is never really a routine. But I would say most things is to try to incorporate a workout class, and try to incorporate like studying your Bible, going to church, keeping certain things as a daily thing that you need to do. What I'm reading right now, I'm not. I'm normally an avid reader. I normally love me a good thriller. I'm not reading right now, but it's July. I like to catch up. I like to do massive amounts of reading towards the end of the year. So starting this month specifically, I'll probably knock out 12 books and then say, oh, I read 12 books this year. That's kind of how I work. But I have been listening to the Bible on my way to work. I'm still in Kings. Just made it into Chronicles, First Chronicles. So yeah, the last year I went from Genesis to First Kings. Now I'm Second Kings, and I'm gonna go as far as I can. Dating has been pretty interesting. Interesting in the fact that I don't know, I kind of slipped up and found myself in a relationship. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. We're gonna see how that goes. He is in his 30s. Very, 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 like, I would say he's healing the hard girl in me and turning me into a soft girl, if that makes sense. So yeah, learning to like not be so independent, so in your face, so aggressive with because I'm an entrepreneur, so that's just kind of the tendencies that we tend to have. And on top of that, I'm a Black woman. So kind of learning how to slow down and okay, let him think instead of me think, because I'm like this quick, and most men aren't like that. So what do you think? You know, that type of thing. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, relationship has been great. I'm not gonna talk too much about that because we'll see. I don't know how long it's gonna last, because I still require certain things in this relationship. So that's why I stay single most of the time. But yeah, I kind of found myself in a relationship. It's only been about a couple of months, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do an update on that. Don't know. Things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my relationship with God. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my apartment is magnificent. I can't wait to show you guys the video of my apartment, the view. Yeah, I just love everything that life has offered me, that God has offered me so far. Things that I'm working on right now. I'm looking at my laptop. Being more social for sure. I will literally get in my car and go home. I will get in my car and skirt home fast. So being a little more social. I don't like to go out and drink with people because sometimes people are excessive drinkers. They drink as a sport. They don't drink as in, oh, let's go just get one, relax, and then go home. They're like, another one, shots on me. And then they get all messed up, and then boom, they don't even remember the day you guys had. So, especially in the service industry. So being a little more social, definitely saving money is going to be the next chapter for sure. Creating routines. I would love to grow this YouTube channel. I'm almost at 300 subscribers. I think we're at 254 right now. I'm not sure, but that's still crazy because I remember my first video and I was like, oh my God, I have 10 subscribers. It's insane. And yeah, it's gotten to 300. That's crazy. 300 people want to hear what I have to say. Thank you. Like, I love that. I love that. And I'm happy that we can grow together, you know, and I hope that I can run into you guys. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I moved to Dallas too, you know. If you guys have not joined my group on, it's called BFF now, but it used to be called Geneva. BFF because Bumble bought it. It used to be called Geneva. I think if you still type in Geneva, you can find it, but it's called BFF. I have a group, Dallas Ladies 30 Plus. There is other groups now. I was the first one. There was no other groups but mine. Mine is the first one, but there are other groups now. So if you want to hop into other groups, that's cool. My group basically runs itself. There's girls in there talking about this and talking about that. And if you need a roommate, and that's really good for people who are coming out here and they don't know where to stay or they don't know where to go. It's great to get a roommate, sign a short lease, and then explore and then find your own apartment, get a job and find your own apartment, so on and so forth. So yeah, my goal is to grow this channel. I think I want to be at 1,000 subscribers by December. I don't know. We'll see what God says. I think in order for that to happen, I would definitely need to be a lot more consistent on this thing. I love me a good crushed ice. That's another thing I like about this apartment. It came with the fridge. What? Crushed ice? Regular ice? Boom. Fresh made watermelon juice. I'm probably gonna drink watermelon juice all day today. Only because I've been eating out a lot, and for sure, I need, oh yay, the dryer finally stopped. For sure, my stomach needs a break, like, for sure. So I'll probably be drinking watermelon juice all day today. And then tomorrow, I'm so excited. So I don't know if you guys know, but like when you guys, I don't know, cause I never experienced this in Stockton or California. Hold on, I need a drink. Oh, I've been yapping. Oh, I've been yapping. This is good. First meal of the day too. I never experienced this in California, but in the service industry out here, we do friends and family. And again, I never experienced this in California because I never had the opportunity. That's why, not because it's not available. But friends and family is like new store openings, and we say new store openings, meaning new restaurant openings. So like I said, the restaurant that I just got hired at, I had a friend who was like, you gotta come check it out. It's better than the 2 jobs that we worked with together, mind you. You meet a lot of people out here. I don't even know where to start with this. This is crazy, okay? So here's something I've experienced too. So I started at SCK. I met a lot of coworkers at SCK, probably, I don't know, 70 different employees at SCK. They come, they go, they leave, they stay, whatever. Some of the ones that stay, you bond with, you become really cool with, they become your homies, they give you free food. If they're in the kitchen or on the line, or the chefs are really cool, they start letting you get free food whenever you want to and tell the line to cook you something. You become cool with your coworkers and the other servers and other bartenders. And so from my experience, I have been blessed to have met some really cool people. So now you kind of know your way around Dallas. Not only that, I left STK, I helped open Catch, and everybody should know Catch. Catch is a very big restaurant. They're in LA, they're in Las Vegas in the Aria. There's one in Dallas now, and multiple other places, but I opened Catch. I quit Catch like 3 months later, but I opened Catch. Within Catch, one of the guys who worked at STK, who no longer worked at STK, was at the Catch orientation. We opened Catch together. We bonded even more than when we bonded at STK, which is crazy. One of the food runners at STK who left STK and then came back as a server, her sister was at the Catch orientation. And we were like, oh my gosh, like I know you. I became really cool with people at Catch. I met a lot of cool people, a lot of cool friends, things like that. I left Catch, went back to STK. I never really left STK. I kind of like went down, cut my shifts down and opened Catch. Never really left STK, but I opened Catch. I went back to STK full time because Catch was taking their time to get their life together, and I wasn't fond of that. My friend who worked in the kitchen stayed there. The girl's sister stayed there. A couple other people stayed at Catch. I went back to STK. Stayed at STK for like a whole nother year. Left STK. The only reason why I left STK is because the head chef of STK worked at a different restaurant, and I followed him on Instagram. I saw that they were doing some really cool things on Instagram, and I messaged him. I said, hey, are you guys hiring? He's like, yeah, do you want to come in tomorrow or you want to come in the next day? I said, I will come in tomorrow. Came in tomorrow, sat up with the GM of now the new restaurant that I'm currently at. Sat with the GM, got hired on the spot basically. And let me tell you how good God is. The GM told me, hey, okay, cool. We'll get you started immediately. I just need 2 references and for you to email me over your resume. During this time I was moving, and you guys see my whole moving blog. During this time I was moving, so I totally spaced. And I was telling my mom, I was like, bro, like I don't think I got hired. Like I thought I got hired, but maybe I didn't get hired because he hasn't messaged me back, or he hasn't commented or texted me or anything like that. The whole time he was waiting on me. 4 days later, he messaged me and said, hey, if you're so open for the opportunity, I would love to get your resume or 2 references. I was like, oh my God, this whole time he was waiting on me. I could have started a lot sooner. Get to the restaurant that I'm at now. Get there. I see it's kind of cool. It's a cool vibe, cool. I'm bonding with the head chef. Mind you, me and the head chef worked together for a year at STK. Now I'm working with him again. He was like, you know anybody? I said, absolutely. I got one of the kitchen people, like 2 kitchen people hired at the job that I'm working at now from STK. Boom, got them hired. Then the GM, front of house, was like, hey, do you know anybody? I said, yes, I got 4 people hired as servers at the restaurant that I'm at now. Call me Moses. I don't know, leading people to the promised land. I don't know. So anyways, a lot of stuff has happened. I'm not gonna go over all of that, but one of the guys in the kitchen that I got hired on at the current job left out of nowhere, because this is how easy job opportunities are. No 2-week notice. They were like, oh bro, they're like, your friend left. Like he came in and he was just like, I'm not doing this no more, and he left. So then I texted him, I was like, hey, you good? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. I got another job. He was like, you should check it out. I said, okay, what's the name of the job? He wouldn't tell me. He said, I'm gonna talk to the manager and get you set up with the management. I get set up with management. As of last week, I got set up Thursday. I got set up with management. They were like, yeah, you could come on in, do a drop by. My friend Alex is saying you could come on in, you do a drop by interview. They are still hiring and they're saying, hey, like, let your friend come in. So I come in, I was like, what's the address? He's like, this is the address. I was like, what's the name? He still wouldn't tell me the name. He was like, once you get here, 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 and here, I'm gonna come get you. And I was like, whoa. I was like, is this an episode of Squid Games? Cause I'm not trying to get kidnapped. And he was like, no, it's a really great restaurant. I like this restaurant better than the restaurant that we were just working at in STK. I said, bet, I trust you. I worked with this kid this is gonna be my third restaurant with this particular guy. Third restaurant. And what am I gonna do when I get in good? I'm gonna bring all my people. I'm gonna let them know about how good this restaurant is, if it's good. Let them know about how good this restaurant is. That's just kind of what you do. That's how you make connections. Now, let's talk about friendships. I don't hang out with these people. These are just really cool restaurant people. I know a lot of people in the industry that we have connections. You make backdoor connections, you make front door connections, you have connections that it's like, yo, I know we've been trying to find better opportunities. I know we talk about how bad this place is or bad that place is. I found a better place. So that's kind of how I got this new job. And I don't start until the end of July. So I'm gonna keep this job until the end of July over here. And then I say all I say, how amazing these restaurants are. There is friends and family. So I got onboarded into the new restaurant already. I'm in their system, all of that. I get the updates, announcements, all of that. I'm in their system already. I onboarded on Sunday. On Monday, they sent out a mass email saying, hey, we're doing the first round of friends and family. And what friends and family is the restaurant's not open yet, but they want to give the kitchen reps to get the food right, to get practice. As servers, we can get practice, fake practice. Hello, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. But kitchen cannot get practice. They've always been prepping for the past, they don't have food to make for people, if that makes sense. So they'll do friends and family where people could come in, sit down, eat, and have a regular service. And the servers will serve them. And you can invite whoever you want to. So since I'm in there, they said they're doing a employee friends with family. So they said for the employees, which I just got onboarded 2 days ago. For the employees, you can bring a +1. So I'm bringing my new man. We're not gonna talk about that, but I'm bringing my man, and me and him are gonna have a little date night. And this is crazy because the second date that we had was another friends with family with another friend. So the guy that I worked with at Catch, he moved to a different restaurant. And at that restaurant, he was like, hey, I want you to come for friends and family, bring a +1. I said, bet. I'm coming for friends and family and I'm bringing a +1. So yeah, he hooked me up with friends and family. I said, hey, we're gonna go to friends and family. We had an amazing time. Our tab ended up, the friends and family, the tab is 100% comped. You just have to tip your server. So our tab, because we ordered whatever we wanted and let the server put whatever we want and get as many drinks as we want, our tab was almost $900. So we just tipped the server, like you tip them 20%, whatever. I tip them what I would have probably ordered in food, tip them that. So tip them like $160. And then, yeah, so we're going to another one. We're gonna just tip the server. And then, yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing this week. I don't know if I'm allowed to record, but maybe I'll record afterwards and before. But yeah, that's my life right now. Like, I'm just chilling, like eating free food, good food, fine dining food for free. You make these connections and they're like, hey, we have friends or family. I thought about you, bring who you want. And it's like, yes, like, so yeah, life is good. I'm chilling. I don't even know what else to say. But I will say, this is good. But yeah, I would say for me, I'm more comfortable being alone. Like alone doesn't bother me as much. Dallas just feels so much more familiar. You just kind of know like where things are, what's popping, where the people go, where the good food is, so on and so forth. I definitely know my favorite places. I've listed them before, but maybe I'll do a favorite place update. Drop categories down below of like areas you want me to list my favorite places, and I will make a video on that. I definitely stopped feeling like a tourist or a visitor. I definitely feel like I live here for sure. There's a lot of times where I just felt out of place, and people still ask me where I'm from. I said I'm from California, but I've been here for 3 years. They always ask me how I like it. I give them the honest truth. It's okay. Like Dallas specifically is fun. It's great, but I I do miss palm trees. I do miss water. Super dumb things, but you kind of miss certain things about California that Dallas can't offer. Dallas is landlocked for sure. It's flat. I recommend going to the Reunion Tower when you first get here, going all the way up to the top and just looking out. It's flat. I'm like, where's the mountains? Where's the trees? Like, it's completely flat. And then, yeah, I've been creating habits that feel like home, like going to my favorite grocery stores and finding my favorite coffee shops and becoming regulars at my favorite matcha spots. Me and my man, he's really my man, but it just sounds so weird to say. Like, I've been single for so long. But we found a place in Garland called Frida's Cafe. That is our spot. Our absolute spot. The best thing on the menu is going to be the egg salad sandwich and the turkey avocado chipotle sandwich. Oh my God, the best food items on the menu. They are a husband and wife team. He's like from Central America, and I'm assuming he's from like Central America because there are a lot of Central American themes in there. And I want to say she's like Asian, Filipino, something along those lines, because they have a lot of ube and sago and that type of desserts. It's a 2-type restaurant. Half the restaurant is called Cafe Frida. The other half of the restaurant, which is divided by a whole entire wall, cash register, and kitchen, the other half of the restaurant is called Scoop and Buns. So Cafe Frida, we fell in love with Cafe Frida. I get their matcha. I've been working my way through their summer matcha list, but I normally do the jasmine Earl Grey tea matcha with almond milk and extra sweetener. And then he'll do the horchata latte. He loves that one, or the Cafe Frida. Those are our favorite ones that we drink. And like I said, the 2 food dishes. Now, if we go across the little corridor to Scoop and Buns, they have a whole ice cream shop, churros, like a whole bunch of different sweet treats and things like that. So we've fallen in love with that. And when I talk about how I'm gonna move back to Dallas, because my life is in Dallas, we think about how we're gonna miss Cafe Frida, and I always tease him like, oh, you're cheating on me with her, blah, 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 blah. He's always asking me to bring him a coffee and to work, and I'm like, that's so far, like, come on. But yeah, so we are obsessed with Cafe Frida. It's one of our coffee shops. But I would say, yeah, creating habits that feel like home, knowing where your favorite places are. So yeah, I would say things that bring me joy. Pilates for sure. Love me a good Pilates class. Love me a good heated Pilates class. Love me a good heated sculpt class. Love me a good reformer class. Anything Pilates, all things Pilates. I love Pilates. All things matcha. Love me a good place that serves matcha. I started making my matchas at home, which I've been doing for years. If you look at my Instagram, I've been doing matchas at home for years. But I started making my matchas at home with coconut water. It's a game changer. Less calories, a little bit healthier, not so much heavy milk products in there. It's just coconut water, matcha, and a sweetener. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I still love going to the farmer's market. It's always my favorite thing to do. Like you guys know, I get my toothpaste from the farmer's market. I get scents from the farmer's market. If you haven't seen my farmer's market video, I don't know where it will be, but it'll be here somewhere. I love decorating too, and I have not decorated my own apartment. My last apartment, I made the whole thing that was on TikTok that went around where you're using plaster to make designs on it and paint it. I started doing that, so I have 3 of those around. For my last apartment, I have never hung them, but I'm gonna be in this apartment for 2 more months. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, is that I will be doing apartment hunting, apartment tour videos for Dallas. I don't know, this apartment is a steal. an absolute steal. And I am not sure if I will ever, and I do not think I will ever find anything like this apartment ever again. I just don't know if I can stay in Garland for it. I don't know. I talked about going up to a 2-bed here. 2-bed is literally a couple $100s more than my 1-bed. But this is so far away from Dallas. I don't want to drive an hour for a Pilates class or an hour for food. Like, I missed my 8-minute drive up the street when I lived in Dallas. Why ain't y'all tell me? Why ain't y'all tell me? But I don't know what I want to do, because I cannot wait to show you guys like what this, like my view looks like. It looks like I'm in a house. It literally looks like I'm in a house. And I thought about doing a house for rent, moving into one of those, but every time I look on Zillow, they're always older, ugly homes for rent. And if I'm gonna rent, I want it to be the shebang, not ugly and gross and someplace where somebody else has bathed their body. So yeah, I'm thinking about going back to Dallas. I might have to put some stipulations on what I'm looking for, because I don't want a huge parking garage. I don't want one of those things where parking garage is over here, but I have to go down this way to get to my apartment. Because what if I have all of these bags of groceries? I don't want to do all of that. I really don't want to do all that. So that's one thing I don't want to do. Whole parking garage situation, not being close to the parking garage, walking and getting lost in my own apartment building. That's what happened in my last apartment. But you end up learning the hallways, using the stairs to get outside really quickly. Like, I don't know, this has just been like a dream, and I'm really torn. We'll see what happens when the renewal comes. Like, they'll send out maybe sometime at the end of this month a renewal letter, and I'll see if it's like a steal. Do I want to redo my lease here? If not, then I might have to go back to Dallas. Like, the new job is still in Dallas. It's gonna be closer to the toll road. I'm not paying tolls to get to this new job, I'm sorry. So it's still a 30-minute drive from my house to the new job. I'm in a pickle, you guys. I'm in a real pickle. It's a dilemma. A real dilemma. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know what else to update you guys on. I'm probably gonna leave it at that. We'll see. Let me see. But yeah, I'm probably gonna leave it at that. That's kind of where I'm at, my life update. I will be making, I said this last video, and y'all probably in this video like, she a liar. I will be making more videos. It's just awkward and weird, and making sure that this freaking camera is charged all the time. This camera is the Sony VF1 something. I'm not a fan of it. No, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of it. I feel like the quality could be way better. And I also feel like the batteries suck. And I found that out later. I kind of want a DJI. So maybe I'll invest in that. I think I talked about that before, but I do have the DJI mics. But yeah, that's my little life update. I hope this encourages somebody to make that leap, make that change, and understand that even when you make that leap and make that change, there's gonna be days that aren't always as exciting, and there's gonna be weeks that aren't exciting. There's gonna be months that aren't exciting. But life isn't always exciting. There's days where you're just gonna get up and do your routine and know that, hey, look, life is so much better than it was before because I made this leap. But yeah, I hope that answers all your guys' questions or thoughts, or just gives you guys a little girl chat, life update, FaceTime call from your Dallas big sister. Or if you're older than me, cool, your Dallas little sister. Come on over to the Dallas side. It is great. We are doing like 100+ in weather, which I mean, a lot of people don't like, but I'm getting in the pool. It's nice. I think right after this, I'm gonna go swimming because this hair needs to be washed and I need to do something with it. So why not go swimming and wash it and do it, and maybe I'll do a braid out or something of that sort. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful, I'm doing my outro and I look crazy. Hold on. Is that better? I did this whole thing with no makeup on. It's crazy. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys stayed for girl chat. I'm so glad you guys stayed to watch me juice my watermelon and drink it in front of you. And I have watermelon for the rest of the day. I'm probably gonna drink both of those today and then give my stomach a break, do a little watermelon fast. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Let me know in the comments what you guys wanna see. I will make it happen for you. I will try to be more present on this channel. I will try my best to FaceTime you guys a whole lot more. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and let me know when you guys make it to Dallas, we can hang out.